Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is story about what if Naruto has a high lightning affinity part 1. Before I start, please do support for more amazing content and comments for part 2. Do consider to subscribe my channel and share my video to your friends and check out the description as well. Let's start the video. Konoha. The 6-year-old Naruto was fuming and stomping around his apartment in anger. Why he was angry? Well, given the state of his life, it's pretty much justified. Being only 6 years old may have been a factor. What are the odds of being one of, at most, 9 people in the world to have a monumentally powerful demon sealed inside of them? Naruto's got one. Some might consider a hidden reserve of monumental power a good thing. The only problem for Naruto was, he was hated for it. Granted, the hatred wasn't directed at him but to the demon fox, but he still got hated by proxy. Unfortunately, as the only logical outlet for that hatred, Naruto spent most of his life getting treated like a whore in a nunnery. What made this oh so worse was, the damn demon fox could talk to him. Not to mention that the stupid demon in question got his kicks out of the pain and suffering that comes with the life Naruto led. Muhahahaha. Yes. Hurt the child even more. His pain fuels me. Said demon roared in his head while eating imaginary hated villagers like eating popcorn. Oh, you love it, don't you? Naruto said to himself. They said that one of the things that will shape you in life was friends, or rather the people around you. The Kyuubi was no friend, but unfortunately, was the closet thing Naruto had literally and figuratively. And Kyuubi was a bad influence. Of course. I would rather watch you tear the villagers apart, but you don't. So this is the only entertainment I have, but beggars can't be choosers, said the demon, and Naruto growled. Why? Why's my life like this? Was I a murderer in a past life? A rapist? What did I do to deserve this? Naruto screamed to the ceiling. You were my kid before this, Kyuubi said, and Naruto gasped. What? Naruto said loudly. Just kidding. Muahahaha. Kyuubi laughed a laugh of the clinically insane. Fuck you. Naruto roared. Well, if you want me so badly, come here then and rip the seal of my cage. Then I'll let you fuck me in any way you want, Kyuubi said. You're a boy. Male. I don't do men. Naruto said and tried to tear his hair from his head in frustration. DFT, you wish. Just because I'm the strongest demon does that mean I'm automatically a male? Sexist. Kyuubi said. Was all that Naruto could answer. What the heck does Kyuubi mean? Does that mean that the Kyuubi's a girl? What do you mean? Hey. The Kyuubi stayed silent, however. Oh well, I finally get some peace of mind at least. Naruto sighed. Small house somewhere in Konoha. A large crowd of ninja gathered in a small house, quietly plotting. Soon, a prominent figure, no doubt their leader, rose and the crowd grew silent. Finally. The time has come for us to avenge our loved ones. The man said. He wore a cloak and an Oni mask so as not to compromise his identity. But how are we going to do it, leader? A random ninja asked. We won't be able to make a move on him with the Anbu protecting him, we're just regular ninja. Ah. That's where my genius comes to play. Leader said and took out a scroll. I have managed to acquire for myself a forbidden assassination technique from Kumo. The crowd gasped. Yes, my comrades. This technique is the perfect for assassination. Leader said to the stunned crowd. What does it do? Another random ninja asked. The skill works like this, leader began to explain to the enraptured crowd. The technique was named as the lightning technique. God's divine wrath. It works like this, a custom target seal is made and placed on the target, marking them for death in a very literal sense. Then, the caster will create another seal for them to channel their chakra into in order to initiate the technique. A storm cloud will appear above the target and strike them with lightning. In essence, you could say that it was the almost perfect assassination technique. The lightning bolt is such a powerful force of nature that only a charred corpse will be left and the target seal would be eradicated, leaving no proof. There was also the added bonus of the technique not using lightning natured chakra, which could be traced, but an actual thunderbolt, which was faster, more powerful and untraceable. These two factors combined would leave people thinking that it was nature or God's wrath that killed the target and not an assassin. However, the technique wasn't without its disadvantages. The first was the use of the target seal. The target could realize that he was tagged with a weird seal he had never seen before and might be able to do something to disrupt it. The second was the preparation time. Manipulating weather patterns to set up a thundercloud took time. The third was its area of effect. Its efficiency was greatly reduced when the target was indoors. Well, that makes sense. Would you go out when there's a storm outside? No. If you do, then you almost deserve a lightning bolt, naturally or not. Also, the range was within the storm cloud. It was true that you can't outrun lightning, but you sure as hell can outrun its storm cloud. So if the target is out of the storm cloud's range, then it will be useless. The fourth is the amount of chakra needed and its range. The farther the caster was from the storm cloud, the more chakra is needed and the longer it will take to form the cloud. Ah. What a splendid technique. It fits the boy's punishment. A punishment from God. A random ninja said, and everyone nodded their heads in agreement. So, what are we waiting for? We must begin preparations immediately. Leader said and everyone cheered. Naruto was pissed again. All because of the stupid villagers. First, he tried to buy some milk from a store. The store owner decided to sell him the expired ones, even though he asked for the good ones and was close to begging the jerk. But no. He wouldn't relent and Naruto threatened to call Sarutobi on him. The store owner got mad and kicked him out, but not before Naruto threw the spoiled milk at him and managed to get some of the curdled product into his mouth. Second, he wanted to buy some kunai for throwing practice. The store owner sold him bad ones too, they were blunt and rusty. So Naruto pinned the store owner's hand to the counter using the very same kunai. And now, he had a mob chasing after him. Time to run. And run he did until he bumped into someone. It didn't matter, he kept running. Hehehe, I've tagged a kid. The man that Naruto bumped said to himself. Now we can start your punishment, demon. Naruto was extremely pissed. He finally managed to escape the mob by running to the top of the Hokage monument and now, it was raining. Heavily. From the looks of it, it was a huge storm, cracks of lightning could be seen from the cloud. Ah. They just keep coming, don't they? The misery and pain. Naruto screamed towards the sky and the lightning struck a few meters near him. It's that all you have for me? I've had worse. Come on. Naruto screamed again. Hit, as much as I respect your take no shit attitude, can't you do it someplace else? Someplace safer and dry, like indoors perhaps. Kyuubi said worriedly. Oh so now you decided to talk, huh? Naruto said and Kyuubi rolled her eyes. So are you really a female? Yes, I am. Now can we leave? Kyuubi said and Naruto was shocked by this revelation until another lightning bolt missed him by a few meters once again, causing him to jump. Ah. Fuck you Kami. You gods are cruel, doing this to a child like me. Naruto screamed. God damn it kid. You're going to get fried if you stay here. And would you stop cursing the gods already? Kyuubi said. She may be the strongest demon and in her released form, lightning like this was just an itch. But when you're stuck inside a kid and have the majority of your powers locked away, a simple lightning strike can kill you. Cracks of lightning started to converge into one and a bright ball of lightning could be seen hovering above them in the cloud. Kyuubi's eyes went wide, knowing what would happen. I don't care. They think they're the only ones that can screw with me? Well, screw them. Screw them all. Naruto shook his fist towards the massive ball of lightning. You think that just because you're all high and mighty you could do anything you want? Huh? Well this is Naruto Uzumaki telling you otherwise. Naruto screamed again. The ball of lightning chose that moment to unleash its built-up energy. What erupted from the center of the cloud, directly above Naruto's head was more like a pillar than a bolt of lightning, centered around the little orange-clad boy. We're screwed, we're fucked, we're dead, she-eat. Kyuubi screamed. Mindscape. Boom. Crash. Crack. Naruto woke up in the familiar environment of his mindscape, the Soa prison that kept the Kyuubi at bay. What the hell is that sound? Naruto asked aloud. Normally, when he arrived here, he would hear the sounds of water dripping. But now. The place looked like it was going to come down. Some of the walls were cracked and flashes of electricity could be seen coursing beyond it, while some were riddled with holes and Naruto saw some kind of a storm outside of it. God damn it. Kyuubi screamed and Naruto ran towards her. What's wrong? Naruto asked and saw that the Kyuubi's tails were spread like a peacock's and was glowing with red chakra. The chakra was seeping all over the place. What's wrong? What's wrong? I'll tell you what's wrong. Kyuubi screamed at the blonde boy. Naruto just simply sat down and crossed his arms together. Your eyeballs just got blinded by the intense brightness of the lightning strike. Not that it matters anyway as your eyeballs are now fried. Oh and that also applies to your whole body. After this, you will be such a badly cooked human that not even carrion-eating animals would look at you. Naruto looked around while scratching his head. Huh, that's not something you get to experience every day, Naruto said, and Kyuubi wished she could do a facepalm right now, but she has important matters to attend to. So how come I'm here anyway? That's because I pulled you in here. Time in here moves slower than outside. Your body's being fried right now and my regeneration is the only thing that's keeping you alive. And it's a good thing that I brought you here, if not, you'd gone insane from the pain. Kyuubi screamed at him. Ah, Naruto said. Wait, I thought you want me to be insane. Kyuubi was at loss for words. It was true, making the boy insane would definitely help her gain freedom. Why didn't just leave the boy outside? Could some part of her want to protect the boy? Did she have feeling for a human? Shut up. So what now? Naruto asked. I'm kind of busy here. Kyuubi screamed at him. It was true, in the real world, the freak lightning strike that hit Naruto lasted quite a while. It didn't just hit Naruto for a second or two, but enshrouded him for full 10 seconds. The lightning was now destroying Naruto's body while Kyuubi was trying to heal it, and thus, Naruto's body was in a constant state of being broken down and repaired. Right now, Kyuubi was pumping 8 tails worth of chakra through Naruto's body to keep the regeneration going strong enough to try and keep Naruto's body together. Sorry kid, either you die as a human or live as a demon. Kyuubi said. Naruto was about to speak when Kyuubi released a sudden burst of chakra that sent Naruto careening back into the real world. Sarutobi Hiruzen was as usual, doing his most hated job, paperwork. He desperately wished something exciting would happen to pull him away from doing the job. Today he got his wish. It seemed that a mob had gathered and chased one of his charges around the town. It's been a while since this happened. Last time was 3 years ago, and I thought I'd made that incident a crystal clear example of what would happen if they do this again, Sarutobi thought. Sarutobi growled and got up to deal with the mob, personally. If the kid was unharmed, he would just break their hands. If the kid was hurt, he'd kill them all. Naruto managed to escape them, fortunately, but Sarutobi kept his word. The people that were in the mob had their hands broken. Sarutobi was about to start his search for Naruto when suddenly a storm cloud appeared and began to rain heavily on Konoha. Strange, there weren't any clouds just a minute ago, Sarutobi mused. It had been a bright and sunny day in Konoha, it had looked like it was going to be one of the hottest on record. I hope that Naruto managed to get indoors, Sarutobi mused again when he heard a familiar voice shouting on top of the Hokage monument. Sarutobi's eyes and mouth widened in shock at seeing the subject of his musings shouting at the storm cloud. Of all the places, he chose the highest place in Konoha. Sarutobi said, and his heart almost stopped when 2 lightning strikes almost hit him in quick succession. Anbu. Get that kid away from there. Sarutobi's orders boomed and all of his elites quickly raced towards the blonde boy, soon to be a lightning rod. Alas, none present in Konoha was faster than lightning, and sure enough, a huge lightning strike crashed down on Naruto as he stood atop the fourth's head. All who witnessed it waited with bated breath. The huge pillar of lightning, no doubt the biggest thunderbolt anyone had ever seen, lasted for a full 10 seconds, but to all of them it was an eternity. Strangely though, the lightning pillar of such power and size should have destroyed the fourth's head, but it didn't. It was as if Naruto was blocking the lightning from going any further. Then the witnesses grew fearful as a red aura began to spread from the boy, condensing into separate tails of chakra, 8 in all. Cat Anbu, who was a few meters ahead of Sarutobi, grabbed his left hand in pain, and Sarutobi knew what it meant. Before anyone could react, the blood-red pillar of lightning vanished as quickly as it had appeared. The next second, however, a ball of crackling electrical energy exploded out from Naruto, reducing the Yondame's head to rubble. No one moved, their shock held them in place. Go. 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 Sarutobi regained his composure first and barked his orders again before all the Anbu disappeared, along with the Hokage. Now Naruto groggily sat up and rubbed the top of his head. His body felt weird, really weird. For one, he didn't feel tired at all. Granted that it was hard for him to get tired, but this was different. It's like that time he drank that damn drink named 44 something. He couldn't remember the name, but the drink kept him up for 3 days straight and he had enough energy to go on a non-stop pranking spree of the whole village. After that the drink became outlawed in Konoha. Hell, it had been disapproved of before, now even owning some of the stuff carried a heavy sentence. Why is my skin all yellowy? Naruto thought, holding his hand up to his face for inspection. A sudden spark shot between his index and middle fingers. Instinct made him yell and pull his hand away, but he was shocked, or rather surprised that he wasn't shocked. He'd felt nothing. Looking down at his, now semi-naked, body, he realized that he could see sparks jumping all over the place, even running across his skin and arcing from his limbs to the ground. Having a weird idea, Naruto reached out in front of himself and was even more surprised when his arm extended beyond his normal reach, despite the fact that some part of him expected it to happen. What? Awesome. Kyuubi, did you do this? Naruto asked. Shut up. Kyuubi said before she went silent. Naruto shrugged it and waved a fist to the sky. Ha. Take that, you stupid gods. I took the best shit you got and I came out of it like a boss. Naruto screamed and he heard the Kyuubi groaned inside him. Just then a breeze carrying a weird smell flew into his nose and caused an itch. Naruto rubbed it, but this only irritated his nose even further. Ah. Naruto. Sarutobi screamed and gained Naruto's attention, but it was too late. Oh, Grandachu. Naruto sneezed hard, a loud crack was heard, and Naruto was gone in a yellow lightning. Naruto. Naruto. Sarutobi screamed to the heavens. The same small house somewhere in Konoha. The crowd of ninjas were all sprawled on the floor, all of them dead or dying from chakra depletion. Finally. Revenge is served. Leader said with his final breath before joining his comrades. An island near Kiri. The lightning bolt slammed into the ground, hard, and Naruto appeared, face down. Ugh, what now? Naruto raised his head and viewed his surroundings. This didn't look like Konoha. Oh, I see you're not done, are you? Naruto got up and shook his fist to the skies again. It's that all? A small storm cloud appeared above his head and began to launch miniature lightning bolts at him. What the? Is that it? Naruto said and cupped his mouth with his hands, trying to hold back his laughter. Come on. I ate your freaking godly thunderbolt. And now you send me this? Naruto said before he burst out laughing at the storm cloud's efforts to harm him. After he had his laugh, Naruto realized that the storm cloud had disappeared and his skin had also turned back to its normal fleshy self. In other words, he no longer looked like a living lightning bolt. Hey, he thought, could that be what I am? A living thunderbolt. Taking another look at himself, he realized one more thing that drove the question of his new super awesome electric skin thing to the back of his mind. Why the hell do I look like a 12-year-old? He shouted to no one in particular. Oi. Kyuubi, did you do this? Still no reply. And I'm naked too. So now that you know you can't hurt me, you decided to attack my dignity instead. Bastards. Naruto said and he shook his fist to the sky again. The small cloud then appeared again and assaulted him with lightning and rained on his head. Alright, fine, not a problem anyway, Naruto sighed as his head was drenched and turned around and saw. The red-headed woman was staring at him with her mouth wide open. They both stared at each other for a moment, but it felt like an eternity. Suddenly, the mini storm cloud released a huge thunderclap, which brought the both of them back to the real world. Naruto was scrambling his head for an answer that hopefully wouldn't cause the woman to inflict bodily harm on him. Fortunately, an answer came up. I just got back from a nude beach. Naruto said with a smile. An island near Kiri. I just got back from a nude beach. Naruto said with a smile. The red-headed woman, however, closed her gaping mouth and glowered at him. The red-headed woman looked to be in her 20s or so, Naruto thought. He couldn't really pinpoint the exact number. Oh well. The woman, however, has what has to be the weirdest hair he ever seen in his life. Her hair was red but not really red. More like auburn colored and was waist length. She has light green eyes, however, has 4 long bangs, and one of it covered her right eye. Naruto wondered why it covered her eye. Maybe she has a scarshi on her right eye. She also has large breasts. She was wearing a plain blue shirt and short black pants. Judging from her sweating, she must have been exercising or maybe training prior to Naruto's arrival. There's no nude beach around here. The redhead said. And did you just travel using lightning? There's no one here when she and her family moved here before, so they can safely say that this was a private island, property of the Terumi clan. But more importantly, the kid just got here by lightning. Well, of course not here. I just got back from it to here using the lightning. Naruto cooked up another lie again and the woman glowered harder, knowing that it wasn't the truth. Naruto realized this and decided to be smart about and scratched his head. Okay, I wasn't from a nude beach. I was from my home. Can I at least have something to cover myself? If there's one thing I know about being a guy is that being naked in front of a woman tend to have a 50-50 chance of getting his balls kicked in, Naruto replied. Why should I give you anything when you're a stranger? And naked too. The woman crossed her arm across her busty chest. Oh, that's right. I'm Naruto Uzumaki, Naruto said with a smile. The woman's eyes widened for a moment. Uzumaki. But they were destroyed ages ago. Well, not the whole clan but only their country. But the kid's not a redhead, as he really is in Uzumaki. The woman thought. She may sound a little paranoid, but can you blame her? Her life so far wasn't a fairy tale and the kid's weird. He just got here using lightning. And May hated lightning. That tended to make you a bit paranoid. May decided that maybe she could try to be civil to the kid for the moment. May Terumi, May said, and Naruto's smile grew wider. Now we know each other's name, so that doesn't make us strangers anymore, right? Naruto said with a smile, and May raised an eyebrow at him. Come on. My little junior's feeling weird, okay? And I think the situation is making him weirder. Naruto said and he pointed down to his crotch, and May looked down to see. Oh. That's on a kid like him. May stammered in her mind. Fine. Follow me. She said with a blush and turned around and started to walk. However, what May didn't saw was that the moment she turned her back on him, Naruto's smile faded and a depressed look replaced it. Naruto looked at his arms which cackled with lightning and sighed before going after May. Naruto Uzumaki, Naruto said to 2 more people in front of him. Currently, Naruto, May and what has to be her 2 relatives, probably parents, are in front of a small house. May quickly got inside and appeared moments later with man's clothing for him. Naruto then quickly wear it, but he realized that it was too big. It probably belonged to the man in front of him. The man has brown hair and a ponytail, black eyes and vertical slash scar on his right cheek. He wore a black plain kimono and crossed his arms in front of his chest. The man looked to be in his 30s and judging from his body language, he's a warrior. Takeshi Terumi, the man said in a deep voice, and Naruto realized that Takeshi was looking him over from head to toe. The other person was a woman standing beside Takeshi. She has solid red hair, unlike Mei's mixture of brown and red. Her hairstyle was quite normal compared to Mei's however, and it was plain and it was tied in a ponytail too. She has light green eyes and she wore a plain red kimono. Mai Terumi. Nice to meet you Uzumaki-san, Mai said in a soft voice. Well, at least she's nice. So what brings you here? Takeshi asked and Naruto scratched his head. A sneeze. Naruto answered honestly and Takeshi raised an eyebrow and while Mai giggled. The truth, boy. Takeshi commanded, but Naruto wasn't affected. Having countless adults screaming at him and demanded him things has toughened him up. Besides, he wasn't scared as he did tell him the truth. It just wasn't detailed after all. It is the truth, Naruto said, and Takeshi glowered. It just wasn't detailed, Naruto said again, and his stomach decided to save the situation by growling at everybody. The sound that came from the stomach was monstrous. In fact, had any Konoha citizen that has faced the Kyuubi heard her growl and survived, they could say that the sound from the Kyuubi and Naruto's stomach was the same. It makes one wonder if the sound was actually Naruto's stomach or the Kyuubi herself. Takeshi was taken aback by this, Mei let out a small eep. Well, Mai just laughed. Naruto himself looked astonished by his stomach. That's a new record, Naruto said sheepishly and rubbed his stomach. Mai stopped her laugh and wiped away a tear. Well, Uzumaki-san, can I call you Naruto? Mei asked and Naruto nodded. We're just about to have dinner. Why don't you join us? Naruto nodded again with a smile and followed them inside the house. Naruto ate what has to be the best dinner he ever had so far. It was normal food for once and not instant ramen. Heck, he only ate ramen because that's the only food that he could get. The only restaurant that accepted him and not poisoned him even if they do was the Ichiraku Ramen. And that place only sells ramen. So now you know why he liked ramen so much. He didn't have much choice in the matter. It's been ages since he had rice. Seconds, please. Naruto asked and held his bowl at Mai and she filled it with rice and smiled at him too. This action made Naruto felt good because no one has ever done this for him before. Mai gave him back his rice bowl and Naruto just stared at the harmless food in his hand. What's wrong? Is there something in the rice? Mai asked with concern and Naruto shook his head and smiled at her and resumed eating. Mai however, saw his eyes in the brief contact they had, it was teary. So, Naruto, how exactly you got here? Mei said you arrived in a lightning, Takeshi asked and Mei, who has changed into a plain blue kimono nodded. I don't know. I got hit by a lightning strike and after that, I somehow survived. And then I sneezed and the next thing I know, I was in front of your daughter, Naruto replied. Naruto didn't feel comfortable telling them the whole truth yet. Sure, they were nice people, but Naruto has been fooled by kindness before. And yes, Mei is the daughter of Mai and Takeshi. Takeshi eyed the boy, who resumed eating and knew that the boy didn't tell the whole truth. How you survived the lightning strike and got sent here anyway? Do you use any technique before this? Or do you have a bloodline or something? Takeshi asked and Naruto shook his head. Well, you do have a bloodline now, the demon inside him said and Naruto perked up. This gained Takeshi's attention, but Naruto gave him a weak smile and resumed eating. You finally said something. What happened? Naruto thought. Saving your ass took out much of me. We'll talk later, Kyuubi said and Naruto nodded. The dinner was silent for a moment before Mai sighed. Mei clearly didn't want to talk to let her parents deal with the situation. Takeshi knew that he couldn't brute force the answer from the kid and decided to give him some time. Mai however, doesn't like a silent dinner at all. So Naruto, where are you from? Mai asked and Naruto stopped eating but stared at his rice. Sarutobi once told him that should he ever find himself to be outside of Konoha's gates and met a stranger, he was not to tell them where he's from. Sarutobi told him to remain silent and wait for ninjas from Konoha to come for him. Mai realized his silence meant that he wasn't going to answer. We're from Kiri, Mai stated and Naruto looked at her. He didn't expect for her to tell something about them. He expected the give and take policy, tell something about you and they will tell something about them. Naruto thought that should he refuse to tell them anything, they would refuse too. We were Kiri ninjas before. Takeshi and I were Jonins, but Mei here was a Chunin, Mai stated. Takeshi looked angry that Mai was so open about it and open he was about to say something when Mai glared at him. Not a sound came from Takeshi. Naruto however, was thinking hard. If memory serves him right, Jonin was a high-level ninja while Chunin was the medium. Wait. You said were? What happened? Why do you quit? Naruto asked and Mei looked uncomfortable. Mai smiled and said, "We were hunted down by our own village." Naruto widened his eyes in shock. "This is because we have a bloodline. Well, Takeshi and I have one. May here have both of our bloodline," Mai said and smiled at her daughter. Mei smiled back weakly. Naruto, however, has conflicted feelings. Their situation was almost like his. And Mai was so open with him. He felt bad if he didn't do the same. But he wasn't sure if he was ready. "Did you run away because of what you have inside you too?" Mai asked and looked at him. Naruto perked up, shocked at her deduction. Mai then smiled at this, knowing her guess was right, and Naruto looked away. He felt uncomfortable at how easy it was for Mai to see through him. Suddenly, sparks of lightning arced from him, gaining everyone's attention. At first, it was small, but then larger ones started to appear. I'm sorry," Naruto said and dashed outside. Everyone was silent for a moment before Takeshi spoke. "So what do you think?" "He's not from Kiri, that's for sure." His reaction shows that he didn't know about the purge, Mai answered. "Kumo then?" "It seems to me that his bloodline is lightning-based," Takeshi asked again. "I'm not sure if he really is from Kumo. But yes, his bloodline revolves around lightning, much like the Hazuki clan is revolved around water," Mai stated. So what do we do with him?" Mei asked uncomfortably. Mai looked at her and smiled. "We let him cool down for a moment," Mai said. "And if he decided to leave?" Mei asked again. "Then that is his choice," Takeshi stated. "If he arrived with lightning, I doubt there's much we could do to stop him from going anyway." Mei didn't say anything, but replied with a dissatisfied look. "Erg!" Naruto screamed as he let out another blast of lightning at the water. "God damn it," he said while releasing another blast. He was at the beach now, releasing his pent-up anger in the form of lightning towards the water. Naruto was having a lot of conflicted feelings right now, and his newfound abilities didn't help either. "Hit," Kyuubi said, and Naruto closed his eyes. "What?" Naruto asked internally. "What were you thinking back there before we got hit by the lightning? Why didn't you run away?" Kyuubi asked. "Why do you care?" Naruto asked. "Because it seems to me that you were trying to commit suicide. I don't believe that you're dumb enough not to take cover, especially when two lightning almost hit you," Kyuubi stated in an angry tone. "And now look what happened to you. Weren't you supposed to be happy?" "I did gain a bloodline after all," Naruto said. "A part of me is happy, yes. But another part isn't. We could have died back there," Kyuubi said angrily. "Well, sure, this happened because of me. But all of this shit wouldn't happen if it weren't for you in the first place." Naruto screamed at the sky angrily, and arcs of lightning started to appear from his body. "If it weren't for you, it wouldn't be up there on the Hokage monument in the first place." The Kyuubi growled for a while before going silent, and Naruto was again confused. Kyuubi usually took everything that Naruto threw at her. Cursors, blames, threats, and she usually responded with her diabolic laugh of hers. But now. "Hey," a voice said, and this surprised Naruto, which caused him to involuntarily release a burst of lightning. "Hi." Mei screamed, and Naruto quickly got up to see that she was on the floor. She was electrocuted by his burst, but she wasn't badly harmed. Shit. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to," Naruto said and went at her. This, however, proved to be a mistake as more lightning strikes Mei. Mei screamed again and Naruto backed away, and the lightning stopped hitting her and instead, arcing to the ground. Naruto looked horrified at what he has done while Mei groaned in pain. I didn't mean to. I can't control my powers yet." "Fuck you," Mei said while getting to her feet. "You shouldn't have come here. I fucking hate lightning. I hate the thunder and I hate the storm. I hate you," she said before running back to the house. However, Naruto saw something in her eyes before she left, fear and hatred. Naruto slumped to the floor and held his head with his hands and ruffled his hair roughly, sending large arcs of lightning everywhere. Grrrr, fuck. His life was messed up before this. And now, it was surely destroyed. "Hey," Naruto heard a voice said and he turned to look at the source. It was Takeshi. "Sorry about her. She wasn't always like this with other bloodline users. Your case was special after all," Takeshi explained. "Great, everything is about me is it?" Naruto said angrily. Kami seemed to hate him very much. First to put the demon inside him, turn him to lightning, send him to a place where there are people like him in a way, but only to have one of them hate him because of what he is now. "Maybe," Takeshi said and sat down in front of him where the lightning didn't reach him. "She has a bad past involving thunderstorms." They both looked at each other for a moment before Naruto asked. "How bad?" "Our clan was purged during a thunderstorm," Takeshi said with a grim line. "And not just ours, other clans were destroyed during thunderstorms too," Naruto's eyes widened at this. "Our enemies doesn't have any bloodlines, and they knew that fighting us straight on would be a disadvantage to them. So they decided to assassinate us during the thunderstorm." Naruto groaned and shook his head again. Great, so she must think that I have something to do with the storm. Naruto thought angrily. And then Naruto realized the real reason why Mei hated him. She must have thought that I'm here to kill her and her family. Naruto thought and he clenched his fist. Takeshi got to his feet and turned around. Don't beat yourself about it, kid. It's not your fault. Mai and I don't blame you for it, Takeshi said, and Naruto felt a bit better. Come inside and sleep this through, Takeshi said and walked away. Naruto reluctantly got up and went after him. Kami just kept throwing shit after shit at him and it doesn't seem to stop anytime soon. The next day wasn't any better. Kyuubi still kept silent, Mei avoided him, while Mai and Takeshi went out of the island to get supplies. So he was left alone to ponder about his situation. Like how to control his newfound powers. So far he hasn't had much luck. It turns out that his lightning powers are very much related to his emotions. Get angry and big ass lightning bolts appear. Get happy, well he hasn't much luck on being happy yet. And he still doesn't know whether he can turn into pure lightning again or not. It seems that being pure lightning is his way of moving large distances in a short time. But there came he question, even if he can travel, where would he go? For years he dreamed of running away from Konoha, but to where? Was the outside world better than Konoha? He didn't know. Hey, Mei called out to him. Naruto turned around to see her in her training clothes again, but this time, there were bandages on her skin. Time for dinner, she simply said and walked away. Naruto sighed and followed suit. Dinner that night was uneventful. Mei was silent the whole time, and so was Naruto. Mai, the ever-silent hater, chatted with her husband. Mei finished her meal quicker than usual and excused herself. Naruto also excused himself to catch up after her. Both Mai and Takeshi shared worried looks, but they decided to let things happen first. Wait. Naruto said to Mei in the corridor to the rooms. Mei stopped but didn't turn around to face him. Naruto sighed and spoke, I want to say that I'm sorry for hurting you. Mei didn't respond. So I'm sorry for hurting you. That's all, Naruto said and was about to walk away when Mei spun to face him. I don't care about your apology. Mei said, her voice seething with anger. Naruto raised an eyebrow at her. I want you to leave. What? Why? Naruto asked back. Is it because I hurt you? I didn't mean to. Really? Or is that just an act? Mei shot back and Naruto was surprised, but he knew what she meant. I'm not a ninja. I just got my powers, alright. Naruto said through gritted teeth, angry at the accusation. You expect me to believe that? A lot of ninjas already reached Chunin at your age. Mei said. I'm not. I'm only 6 years old. Naruto said and Mei scoffed and crossed her arms. Really? A 6-year-old in a body of 12 years old? Mei said, disbelieving. A lot of shit happened to me, alright. Naruto countered and Mei looked away, still not believing him. This angered Naruto even more. It's not fair to blame me for the deaths of your clan. I didn't have anything to do with it. Naruto stated. It doesn't have to be you, Mei said without even looking at him, and Naruto's clenched his fists in anger. But you're still blaming me for something I didn't do. You're a fucker, you know that. Naruto said and received a right hook from Mei. Naruto stumbled to the wall but quickly stood up again and glared at her. You don't know anything. You don't know the kind of shit that I have to go through. Mei said through gritted teeth. Naruto spat blood on the floor near her feet before glaring at her again. That's true. I didn't know the pain of losing loved ones, but that's because I don't have much to lose in the first place. But that doesn't mean I don't know shit about suffering. Naruto said in anger, but Mei wasn't affected. What does he know anyway? I've known about your story, that you were discriminated because of your bloodline and you witnessed the massacre of your clan. So let me tell you mine. From the day I was born, my own father sealed a demon inside me. Naruto said and Mei looked shocked from this. Yes, Naruto knew as Kyuubi told him on the first day they met in an attempt to break him. I'm from Konoha and the host for the nine-tailed beast. Ever since I was little, I was discriminated, hated, prejudiced and bullied. I've had countless assassination attempts on me and you know the most memorable one I've had. I was poisoned in a restaurant and no one did anything to help me. Naruto said and Mei looked horrified with each word that came from Naruto's mouth. You at least have a family. I don't. And do you want to know why I got hit by lightning in the first place? Because I wanted to die. But it seems the Kami wasn't through with playing with me because here I am. Naruto said his eyes started to tear. All this time, they hated me for something that I didn't do, for something that I wasn't. They called me demon, but I took solace in the fact that I didn't do any of the things they said I did, the fact I wasn't a demon. Naruto said, tears running down his cheek. But now I am one, and they were right all along. Before this, I don't have any trouble touching people, and now Naruto said as arcs of lightning started to appear from his body. You see? Now I don't have anywhere to go. I don't know what to do. Mei didn't know what to say. She didn't think much of the kid Naruto's feelings before. She never did. And now she regretted it. I thought that you understood that you're different. But obviously I'm wrong as you're just the same as everyone else. You're just the same as the people that discriminated your own clan. Naruto said and ran away, the lightning arcs followed him. Mei felt a massive guilt inside her and she fell to the floor, crying. All this time, she couldn't see past her own suffering to see that Naruto too was suffering. And worse, she blamed him for the sins that he didn't do. How could she be so foolish? So selfish. Erg. Naruto screamed towards the heaven while releasing a large beam of lightning. You fucker. Take it back. Take it back. Naruto screamed and threw more bolts at the sky, hoping that he could hit the being that caused him so much suffering, or at least, remove his curse from him. I'm not your toy, Naruto cried, and he sat down and hugged himself. To make it worse, a storm cloud was heading towards the island. A thunder could be heard and Naruto cried even harder. What did you do? Takeshi screamed at him and Naruto turned around to face his angry look. Naruto struggled to answer, but Takeshi cut in. There are active hunter ninjas active everywhere. You just alerted them to where we are. Takeshi said and Naruto looked horrified. It seems the Kami wasn't through toying with him. 11 Kiri hunter ninjas sat around in a bonfire, all of them were eating their dinner. Their 12th member came rushing to the leader of the group. Sir. I saw bursts of lightning from an island near here, sir. The ninja said. And? Hunter leader said in a bored tone. Lightning was a normal thing. Why would he fuss about it? The lightning came from the ground, sir, the ninja said again, and hunter leader perked up. More specifically, it came from the island where we speculated some of the bloodline remnant is. It could be that other hunter groups have engaged them. Hunter leader smiled and tossed his food into the fire. Well, let's not let them have all the fun, shall we? He then got to his feet and wore his mask while the rest followed suit. And it seems that a storm is heading towards the island, the ninja stated. Hunter leader cracked his neck. It seems the Kami is on our side again. The rest of the squad cheered and they began to move. I didn't mean to. Naruto chanted again and again to himself as he rocked his body back and forth. Mei didn't fare any better either as her phobia of thunderstorm kicked in and she was gripped with fear, unable to move. Damn it. Guys, let's go. Takeshi said as he tried to grab Mei, but she refused to go outside where the storm was raging while Naruto released arcs of lightning, making the task of touching him almost impossible. Mai bit her lip and was thinking of her options. Their bloodlines, although powerful, was severely limited by the heavy rain. Her husband, Takeshi, was from the Terumi clan, who uses fire and water techniques to create the boil technique, essentially a melting mist. However, its usage was limited outdoors right now as the rain can reduce its effect. It has to be used indoors, but she was sure that the hunter ninjas would not be foolish enough to engage them inside. Mai wasn't from the Terumi clan, but she was the daughter of Rashi, the host of the four-tailed beast, and gained the bloodline to use lava technique using fire and earth techniques. Again, her lava's potency is reduced in the heavy rain, turning them from melting flaming earths to just normal rocks. She didn't have much time to think about it further as numerous water dragons slammed the house, destroying and flooding it. Damn it. We have to do something. We have to fight. Takeshi said and Mai agreed. They may not be able to use their bloodline now, but they have other elements too. Takeshi and Mai soon disappeared in flame flickers, leaving Naruto and Mei alone. Naruto closed his eyes and hoped that everything will be over when he opened it. Mindscape. Naruto was back in the Mindscape now. It looked like before as there are still cracks and holes and a storm was still raging outside of it. However, the sewer's water was now chest deep. Kid, are you just going to sit here and weep? Kyuubi said angrily, her red eyes glowered at him. Shut up. You don't have the right to say anything. You were the cause of all this. Naruto shot back angrily. That may be true, but these people are going to kill you regardless. Are you just going to sit around and let them? Kyuubi screamed at him. Naruto clenched his head at the pain from the scream. Let them. Maybe they'll do a better job than everyone else before this. You're a pathetic fucker. Where's your take no shit tough attitude before this? Your crazy and annoying attitude. Kyuubi said. It was just a front. A cover. I acted tough because that's the only thing I can do. Naruto replied and his shoulders slumped. Now you can do something. You have your own power. You command the lightning, the thunder and the storms. Kyuubi said. It's a curse. I won't use it. Naruto replied and Kyuubi growled in anger. In fact, I'm tired of all this shit. I'm tired of everything. Naruto then began to wade through the water and the seal on his stomach was visible. The spiral seal then formed together in the shape of a black circle and black liquid started to pour from it. Naruto's eyes began to darken as he approached Kyuubi and the water level raised even more. I'll free you, I will die, we both got what we want and we both will be happy. Naruto said. And then Kyuubi realized that Naruto was broken. The water level represents his hopelessness. Once it reaches over his head, he will drown, and he will be consumed by negativity, Kyuubi thought as Naruto inched closer towards the gate. I've dreamed of this moment. The moment where the boy was crushed by the intense negativity placed upon him. But why it felt wrong. I should be happy. What is this feeling? It isn't hatred. This alien feeling. Kyuubi though angrily. And then it struck Kyuubi. The feeling was similar to how Mito always described it to her. It was. No. She wasn't made for that. She's malice incarnate. She. Fine. Kyuubi roared and Naruto stopped his advance. But let me ask you this, all this time you were blamed for something you did not do and were not. Now however, the situation we're in is entirely your fault. So what are you going to do about it? Are you going to let innocent people get hurt because of you? Kyuubi replied. Naruto thought about for a moment. All this time, everything that has been done to him was wrongly justified. It wasn't his fault. He didn't do anything. And one thing for sure, he didn't hurt innocent people, only the ones that hurt him before. But now, if it weren't for him, the hunter ninjas wouldn't have assaulted the island and the Terumi family wouldn't be in this situation. And now, they're going to get hurt because of him. Naruto clenched his fist so hard that his knuckles turned white. Should he go back? No matter how hard I tried, no matter what I do, it won't work. Naruto said again and more black liquid started to pour out. Then die trying instead of quitting. Die on your feet and not on your knees. Kyuubi screamed with such force that Naruto was blown backwards. Naruto got to his feet and stared at Kyuubi for a moment before turning back. Once Naruto was gone, the water level started to recede a little bit. Kyuubi for some reason felt happy that the boy wasn't truly broken yet. Mai and Takeshi were now tied by multiple water whips around both of their arms by 4 hunter ninjas, but they managed to kill 4 of them before they were overpowered. And now, they were at their mercy. Well. Look at what we have here. The last Terumi and his wife, hunter leader said while a lightning flashed across the sky and was followed by the thunder. Racists come. Takeshi said. Oh, that hurt my non-existent heart, hunter leader said in a mock voice, and the boys laughed. He then walked towards Takeshi and punched him in the guts. Takeshi didn't show any response when Takeshi punched him again and again until he coughed up blood. You killed my boys, hunter leader said. I don't like that. You killed my clan members, Takeshi replied. I don't like that. Hunter leader smiled at the comeback. Well, no matter, you'll be dead anyway. And who knows, maybe we can have some fun with your wife. You did train her well, did you? Hunter leader grinned at him. You fucker. Takeshi spat at him but it was blocked by the mask. Hunter leader wagged his finger in front of Takeshi. TCH. I plan to be merciful by having you killed first. But now, you will die last, hunter leader said as he moved towards Mai instead. You monster. You let her go. Takeshi screamed and hunter leader was about to touch her when a voice screamed and gained everyone's attention. Let them go. Naruto screamed from the top of the house. Oh, so the son decided to play hero, eh? Well, sorry you're about to lose that game, hunter leader said. Sorry, I don't deal with dead people. He screamed this time to make sure Naruto heard him. Naruto gritted his teeth while thinking about what he has to do to help them. But he could do much as 2 hunter ninja appeared from his sides and launched water whips at him. The water whips managed to wrap his arms and Naruto was tied just like Mai and Takeshi. Naruto smirked and let loose a torrent of lightning from his body. The lightning traveled to the ninjas using the water whips and electrocuted them. Hunter leader growled at this and motioned to the ninjas that were binding Mai and Takeshi. In a swift motion, Mai and Takeshi were brought together and tied using physical ropes. Naruto stopped his flow of lightning, but he was disappointed to find that the ninjas still held on to him. The ninjas were weakened, but the attack wasn't enough to down them. And what's more, a ninja brought Mai out of the house and tied her next to her parents. Well. Looks like we got a package here, eh boys? Hunter leader said, and his ninjas snickered. Hunter leader then sighed before taking out 3 kunes. I told you, you're going to lose this game, he then threw the kunes at Naruto. The first 2 struck his torso while the last was aimed at his mouth, but Naruto managed to bite it to stop it. He then spat the bloodied kunai out. The word of advice fuckers, you shouldn't play out in the storm, Naruto said and flared his normal chakra all over his body. Everyone readied themselves for what Naruto was about to do, but what happened next shocked everyone. The lightning suddenly struck Naruto and in the process, shocked his 2 captors to death this time. The 2 charred hunter ninjas fell limply across the roof and slid off to the ground. Naruto however, absorbed the lightning and his body turned into yellow lightning in the shape of a humanoid, blitz mode. There weren't any definite markings on his body, but except for Naruto's blue eyes, whisker marks and a spiral seal on his stomach, imagine the 9-tailed chakra mode, minus the extra seal markings and facial features, except the eyes. Whisker marks and the seal on his stomach. And what's more, there seems to be small and thin lightning pillar, storm tail, connecting him and to the storm. Two of the ninjas flashed through their hand seals, but Naruto was faster and shot out two lightning bolts, dares shot at them. The lightning bolt hit them square in the chest, atomizing them, and made them explode in a shower of blood and very small human parts. What the fuck? A ninja said after seeing what happened. No lightning technique managed to make someone explode so far. Naruto wasn't finished and in a roar sent his chakra through his storm tail, and lightning cracked the storm cloud. Hunter leader knew what was going to happen and immediately grabbed Mei. Naruto realized this and shot out only 3 lightning strike at the remaining ninjas, instead of his planned 4. The 3 hunter ninjas convulsed for a moment before their charred corpse hit the ground with a thud. Alright, that's enough. Hunter leader said as he held Mei hostage with a kunai poised at her throat. Try to attack me and she gets it. Naruto narrowed his eyes at the ninja, but he couldn't do anything. The hunter leader was too close to Mei, and any lightning attack would hit her too. He was thinking of a way to take him down without hurting Mei when suddenly, she caught his attention. Now power down. Power the fuck down. Hunter leader commanded, but Naruto wasn't paying attention to him, but rather to Mei. Her lips were moving as if saying something. Naruto wasn't a lip reader, but he followed his conscience to interpret her message. I trust you. Naruto doubted about what he thought, but Mei's smile and the look that she gave him confirmed it. Her eyes didn't have any fear or hatred that it harbored before this, and Naruto returned the smile. Let's see who's faster, fucker. Naruto then released a large lightning strike behind him that caused a bright flash of light over the sky. Hunter leader stared straight into the flash, and his arm that held Mei was involuntarily raised in front of his face to block the bright light. Naruto took this chance to sever his storm tail and leapt forward at Hunter leader. One of his arms grabbed the hand that held the kunai and brought it away from Mei, and the other hands, along with the forearm, changed shaped into a sword, lightning sword, and speared through the hunter leader's mouth. The result was that the lightning hand speared through his mask and his mouth until it came out from the back of his head. The momentum from Naruto's leap also propelled hunter leader and Naruto away from Mei until Naruto landed on his foot a few meters away. Naruto panted heavily before looking at the speared hunter leader on his arm. His mask full of, and Naruto saw something that he will remember for the rest of his life. The hunter leader's eyes were wide in shock and horror, as if seeing the Shinigami himself. Naruto was horrified by this and quickly released the head from his arm, and it only served to shock him more. His mouth were now gone and was replaced with a large cauterized hole. Naruto backed away in fear from what he has done and turned back to see the result of his work. The charred remains of the ninjas all have the same horrified look on their faces, and what's worse, they looked like as if they wanted to scream but couldn't. Maybe it was because the lightning killed them before they could do it, or their voice box was destroyed when they were still alive. And then Naruto realized that he has seen the look before this. It was when the first mob had assaulted him and he gave in to rage that he used the Kyuubi's chakra for the first time. The look of pure horror on the faces of the mob was the same. The look that says that he was a demon. No, no, no. I'm a demon. A demon. Naruto clenched his head and shook it furiously. Mei realized this and quickly untied herself using a small amount of lava and head towards Naruto. Naruto saw this and started to back away. Stay away, stay away. I'll hurt you. Naruto pleaded, but Mei continued her march. No you won't, Mei said with a smile and held her hand forward to touch him. Naruto's head was scrambling to think of something to do, something that won't hurt her, as he hand inched closer. But he couldn't think of anything. And so he closed his eyes and waited for the inevitable. Only to feel the warm touch of Mei's hands caressing his cheek. Naruto slowly opened his eyes to find that his blitz mode is gone and he was in his human form again. Mei then pulled him in an embrace and hugged him tightly and began to sing softly. I had a way then losing it all on my own, he had a heart then, but the queen has been overthrown and I'm not sleeping now, the dark is too hard to beat and I'm not keeping now the strength I need to push me. You show the lights that stop me turn to stone, you shine it when I'm alone, and so I tell myself that I'll be strong and dreaming when they're gone. Pause, they're calling me home, calling home, you show the lights that stop me turn to stone, you shine it when I'm alone. Home. Naruto then began to cry in her arms until the fatigue caught over him, lulled him into sleep. Naruto woke up to weird feeling that he never felt before. It felt that the whole world was swaying for some reason. Then, he felt another feeling that he knew so well. He immediately got up and found a bucket and released the content of his stomach into it. He then heard a giggle and looked at the voice weakly. It was Mei. First time in a boat, I see. Mei asked and sat his bed. I don't get to go out of my village often, Naruto said and leaned into his bedpost while nursing his stomach. I want to say that I'm sorry for everything, Mei started, and Naruto looked at her. I mean, I should have known to treat you better because we're very much the same, you know. We were both hated for something that's inside of us, but I let my fear and my suffering cloud my eyes to you, Mei said with a weak smile, and Naruto looked at his hands. If there's one thing I know from Konoha's people is that when people is suffering, they tend to lick their own wounds and not others. That's what I hate about Konoha's people, well, not all of them. But the point is, they thought that they're the only ones that suffered from the Kyuubi's attack. They always told me about the people that they've lost when they beat me, but do they ever ask me my loss? Naruto said sadly. Some said that they lost their parents, but they never bothered with mine. Some said that they lost their brothers and sister, but I never had them. They at least have the experience of knowing them, Naruto continued, and Mei held his hand. Naruto looked at her and saw her smile. Thank you for everything that you did, Naruto, you're a hero, Mei said, and Naruto cried again. Not many have thanked him for his sacrifice of being the Kyuubi's host, and he felt appreciated. Naruto, I want you to know something about me, Mei said, and Naruto wiped his tears. I used to hate my bloodline, you know. I've once thought of how it would be if I didn't have my bloodline. Would it be different? Would I have peace and now hunted down like a vermin? I felt like being inside the body of a demon and I wished that I could trade it with a human's body. And then? Naruto asked and Mei smiled. And then I realized that if didn't I join the people that treated the bloodlines wrongly, then it will not be worth it. I realized that I may have a demon's body, but I have a human's heart. And if being given the choice of having a demon's body, but with a human's heart or a demon's heart with human's body, I'll choose the first, Mei smiled and hugged Naruto. You may have a body of a demon, but your heart is human, Mei said. Naruto felt like somebody has just drained a massive liquid weight inside his heart. Mei then released a hug and kissed him on the cheek, earning a blush from him. You know Naruto, you're lucky, Mei said, and Naruto raised an eyebrow at her. You're lightning and you can fly among the clouds, free to go anywhere you wanted to. Well, maybe I want to be grounded this time, Naruto said with a grin and Mei smiled, knowing what he meant, and she got up. Thanks again, Naruto, you've made me lost my fear of thunderstorms, Mei stated. Really? Naruto asked and Mei nodded. You made me realize that lightning wasn't so bad. In fact, they're actually light in the darkness of the cloud. Their life might be short, but they're powerful and brighten the sky where the sun couldn't shine. It can to make me feel that they're actually hope, Mei said with a smile, and Naruto returned with an even bigger smile when he understood the meaning. But still don't go outside during a thunderstorm. That's how I got into this situation in the first place. Naruto stated and Mei chuckled. I know that. I still have my common sense, you know, Mei replied, and the both of them was silent for a moment, not knowing what to say before Naruto spoke. Mei, if we can't find a place that can accept us for what we are, then let's create one, a place where our children doesn't need to worry about their heritage and instead, be proud of them, Naruto asked, and Mei grinned. Alright, she said before she got out. Naruto then sighed happily, finally found a place to belong. He was a bit sad that it wasn't his hometown, but he wasn't stupid enough to keep staying there when he isn't wanted. And Mei's words brought a smile to his lips. How could he forget about it? That there's light and lightning. Maybe, no not maybe. That this power of his was not a curse, but a blessing. And maybe, Kami wasn't such a dick after all. Land of Waves 1 month later. It's been a month ever since Naruto gained his powers, or as the rest would call it, bloodline. It was rocky at the start as he was depressed by it and tried to deny it, but ever since he met the Terumi family, he finally came to accept it. It's like they say, when life gives you lemons, make a lemonade. Except that he got a dragon fruit. Dragon fruit was Naruto's favorite fruit, by the way. Now what's left is to make a juice out of it. Anyway, things have finally turned for the better for Naruto. Mei doesn't hate him anymore and the Terumi views him as a family member. Naruto finally has a family to call his own. Takeshi and Mai treated him as their son and Naruto treated them as his parents. However, Naruto wasn't adopted though, as Naruto insisted on being an Uzumaki. He didn't know why, but maybe it has something to do with Mei. Speaking of Mei, he has this weird feeling for her, but he doesn't know what it is yet. All he knows was that it was a pleasant feeling. Kyuubi snorted at him for this, mumbling something about hormones. Speaking of Kyuubi. Flashback 25 days ago. Mindscape. Kyuubi, Naruto asked the sleeping giant fox. Well, she wasn't really sleeping, just pretending so that Naruto wouldn't disturb her. Kyuubi didn't react at all. I know you're not sleeping, Naruto asked and sat on the dried sewer. The sewer was nicer than the last time he was here, the walls are repaired and there's lighting in the forms of various lights on the walls. Naruto then scratched his chin, thinking for a way to wake the giant up. They say that you should let sleeping giants lie. Suddenly, he remembered. He met a girl who really liked cats back then at Konoha. The girl sang a catchy tune related to cats that Kyuubi found to be very annoying. Nine, Naruto sang, and immediately Kyuubi's ears perked up. Ah. Shut up. Kyuubi roared and sent Naruto tumbling backwards. Alright, I'm awake. What is it? Kyuubi said angrily. Naruto sat back and grinned. I knew you weren't sleeping. Naruto claimed and Kyuubi sighed. What is it, Kit? Kyuubi said tiredly. She knew why the boy was here. She just didn't want to talk about it. Thanks for screaming some sense in me, Naruto said with a smile and Kyuubi shot him a glance before looking away. She never had someone said positive words to her before. Usually it was demands, begging and words of hatred. Ever since Kyuubi knocked him out of his emo state, Naruto has viewed her in a new light. He now knew that there's good in his tenant. Don't make me regret it, Kyuubi replied. Sure. Anyway, I'm here to ask you about my body. What happened, exactly? Why I got my powers and why I'm in a 12-year-old body? Naruto asked. Kyuubi sighed again and sat down. This is going to be long. Oh well, might as well get it over. The thing is, when that freak lightning hit you, it was destroying your body and at the same time, to save you, I have to keep channeling my chakra into you. So your body were in a constant state of being destroyed and being healed. Naruto crossed his arms, closed his eyes and nodded sagely with grunts of every now and then. Had I kept channeling a steady amount of chakra, chances are you would survive as human after the lightning strike was over. But I kind of overdid it at the time, turning you into something else, Kyuubi stated and looked away. Ow, awesome. Naruto said excitedly and Kyuubi turned to look at him again. Wait, you're not mad? Kyuubi asked. Naruto titled his head at her. What for? I could have kept you as a human. Kyuubi stated and Naruto shrugged. Nah, being human is overrated. Besides, normal is boring, Naruto replied with a grin. So, you've come to terms with it, Kyuubi said, more of a statement than question and smiled, happy that Naruto wasn't mad at her. Alright then, anyway, like I said, I overdid it and made you older, physically and turned you into an elemental being. More specifically, a lighting elemental. The thing is, you could have been a different kind of something, like a fox demon. But I guess the presence of the lightning added in the equation results in you, Kyuubi stated. Wait, so are you saying that if it weren't lightning, I could have been different? Naruto said and Kyuubi nodded. And what's an elemental being anyway? Elemental beings are a living sentient energy being. They are a collective of energy or element bound by a will or a soul. The thing is, everyone has soul, right? Kyuubi said and Naruto nodded. Most of us have our soul contained within bodies made of flesh. The elemental beings, however, uses elements as their body and vessel. Most of what you people call spirits and gods are elemental beings. I see. But how does it explain of me having two forms, the lightning and human form? Naruto asked. The elemental beings or elementals for short has almost complete control over their element. The strongest elemental's mastery enables them to crystallize or harden their element, and vice versa. Essentially, you could do the same, and thus, you are able to convert lightning to matter and matter to lightning. But that matter is limited to your flesh for the moment, Kyuubi explained. Whoa. Awesome. Naruto fist pumped to the air. Usually, elementals preferred their elemental form, but in your case, for some reason, your default form is your human body, Kyuubi said, and Naruto nodded. I guess it has something to do with me being sealed inside you. Anyway, so it seems that you are able to eat lightning for various benefits like powering you up or healing you. I suspect that you will be able to recover lost limbs if you consume enough lightning, and you could be immortal if there's constant lightning around you, Kyuubi stated again, and Naruto's mouth was wide open. Double awesome. Naruto double fist pumped this time. It is. Elementals are unstoppable when there are plenty of their elements nearby. However, it is not without its weaknesses, Kyuubi said. For one, do you know why you involuntarily release lightning? Naruto shook his head. I was about to ask you about that. Well, to get to that we must first cover a few topics. The first is, what do you know about muscle memory? Kyuubi asked and Naruto scratched his head. It has to do with practice, I think, Naruto said, and Kyuubi nodded. Quite true. Muscle memory is the way of teaching your body about a task through repetition. In other words, it is an education for your body. For example, try to practice your academy taijutsu now, Kyuubi ordered and Naruto pointed a finger at himself. Now? Kyuubi nodded and Naruto got up and sluggishly began his taijutsu. He didn't learn much because the teachers didn't bother teaching him. He had to learn by looking from the kids. As he paced through the steps, he had to remember the steps one by one through his memory. Do you know why you're sluggish? Kyuubi asked and Naruto looked away in shame. It's not because of you, kid, Naruto perked up at this. Everyone starts slow. This is because your mind is telling the body the steps it needs to do. I see, Naruto nodded and scratched his chin. Over time with repetition, your body will be able to do the steps without many stimuli from the mind to the point that it becomes a reflex and as natural as breathing or so to say, automatic, Kyuubi continued. Now, obviously the human body isn't able to instantly cast techniques at a thought, Kyuubi said. You must know, certain animals are able to cast techniques without the use of hand seals. This is because these animals like the toads at Mount Mamboku have been able to use chakra longer than humans. Humans are new in the chakra business and thus, their body isn't able to instantly cast techniques with just a thought. Naruto titled his head again. New. But. 1 or 2 or 300 and even 1,000 years is relatively young to a mortal such as nature, kid, Kyuubi answered and Naruto out. And evolution is slow. Anyway, that's why we need hand seals. Hand seals is the way of telling your body what technique you want it to cast. Again, over time with repetition, your body is able to do techniques faster and better to the point that less hand seals is required. If you practice long and hard, you can cast techniques that usually require a lot of hand seals with only one hand seal or none at all. Kyuubi said and Naruto looked excited. Now, that covers muscle memory. Let's talk about instincts. Do you know what instincts are? Kyuubi asked again. It's kind of hard to explain. Naruto scratched his head again and Kyuubi nodded. Instincts are innate behavior that is automatic and exists inside all of us without learning. For example, take sea turtles. A sea turtle will lay their eggs on a beach and leaves. Their hatchlings then will automatically swim towards the ocean even without any adult turtle to guide them, Kyuubi stated. Oh. You mean like motherly instincts in animals? Like how first-time mother cats are able to raise their young so well? Naruto said and Kyuubi smiled. Exactly. You could also say that talent is another form of instinct. Like when someone said that you have the talent or instinct for killing, Kyuubi said and Naruto chuckled nervously. Now, instinct is what enables certain animals to cast techniques without the use of hand seals like I've said before. In humans, although you can't automatically use techniques, the instincts and talents for certain element is there. This is what you call elemental affinities. An example would be how the blasted Uchiha is able to use fire well because it is in their instinct. So their ancestor must be an arsonist, then? Naruto asked while scratching his chin. Must be. Now, I've covered the important topics. Can you relate it to your situation? Kyuubi asked and Naruto was silent for the moment before his eyes widened. Are you saying that I have the instinct to automatically use lightning techniques? Naruto said and Kyuubi smiled, happy knowing that the boy wasn't too stupid. Correct. You have the lightning instinct inside you, Kyuubi said. You are able to automatically cast lightning without the use of hand seals. However, this in turn became somewhat of a curse to you. Your body doesn't know when you want it to cast your lightning techniques. So it uses your emotions as signal instead. When you're angry, your body interpreted as sign that enemies are nearby and began to release lightning, Kyuubi explained and Naruto oohed. And then finally, what do you know about chakra? Kyuubi asked. Not much. I don't understand much what the teachers said, Naruto replied and scratched his head. That's not your fault, really. The teachers at Konoha tried their best to hinder your education. Anyway, chakra is an energy that is generated through the mixture of physical and spiritual energy. It is very versatile as it can be shaped and transformed for various purposes, Kyuubi started to explain. Now, normally, creatures generate normal chakra by default. However, elemental beings generate chakra based on their nature by default instead. Do you understand? Kyuubi asked and Naruto pondered for a moment. So are you saying that I generate lightning chakra instead of normal chakra by default? Naruto said and Kyuubi nodded. Go outside and have them teach you other elemental technique, Kyuubi ordered and Naruto complied. Teach me. Okay. Mei sighed. Naruto can be annoying when he wants something. Watch me, okay? Naruto nodded and Mei casted a water technique. Water technique. Violent water wave. Mei casted and a large amount of water gushed out from her mouth towards the river for a few seconds before Mei stopped it. It's a basic technique, so you should be able to do it on the first try. Naruto, whose mouth was hanging wide open at the display, closed it and nodded. He then did the same hand seal and water technique. Violent water wave. And all that came out is a cone of lightning from his mouth. Naruto said after he stopped the technique and Mei raised her visible eyebrow. But I did the same thing as you did. Naruto said. I know, Mei replied and tapped her chin, thinking. You see kid. Your body interpreted as another form of lightning technique and not water technique. The problem right now is to override your instinct and you're going to need a lot of chakra control exercises, Kyuubi stated in his mind. Flashback end. So after much brainstorming later, they all came up with a wicked name for his bloodline, the Raikou, which translates to Lightning Lord. Which sounds very cool and menacing, although Mei argued that the name could inflate his ego to lord-like proportions. Well, lord-sized ego wasn't so bad. At least they didn't go with his suggestion, Raijin, which is Thunder God. Then Mei would have something to be very worried about. Anyway, as wonderful his powers was, for the moment, it kind of sucked a bit. This is because his body interpret everything that he wanted to do as lightning. This includes normal chakra use such as leaf floating, tree and water walking. Every time he wanted to flow normal chakra, lightning came out. And so, he couldn't do normal chakra control exercises. What kind of ninja that couldn't walk on trees or water? Ayubi stated that he is a being of lightning, thus his default chakra is lightning chakra. And thus he was faced with a weird problem. Normal people had trouble turning their chakra into other types of chakra. He has the opposite problem, turning his lightning chakra into normal chakra. This also brings the problem of converting it to other types of chakra, it requires one more step. An example would be, for an Uchiha to cast flame techniques, they have to convert their chakra into flame chakra. For Naruto however, he has to convert his lightning chakra into normal chakra, then to flame chakra. That's why he couldn't cast the water technique earlier. It was because he didn't do any of the steps. And thus, he couldn't do normal chakra control. He has to do an improvised version of it including emotion and mental control. And let me tell you, an energy being like him that can discharge dangerous lightning bolts at people on a whim requires perfect chakra control to live normally. And Naruto sucked at it due to his high reserves. It's like trying to get a drop of water out of a hose. Medium chakra control wasn't enough as he still discharged lightning bolts that can knock out an adult off his feet. Not to mention about emotion and mental control. His new parents recommended meditation but come on. I mean, he's an energy being. Energy. Not to mention lightning. Have you ever seen a frozen lightning before? Never, right? And that's the problem. He's the epitome of movement. Mai sighed with a smile. She always wanted another child before. This was because she wanted to have variety, so to say. Mei was the quiet, calm and serious type, while Naruto was the loud, active and goofy type. It's always fun to see those two personalities clash. Well, she got her wish now. Stay there and be quiet. Mei ordered Naruto, trying to get him to meditate. Naruto complied and became quiet, sitting cross-legged, hands on his knees and eyes closed. 10 seconds later one of his opened to spy on Mei, who was watching him like a hawk. Congratulations. That was 3 seconds longer than last time, Mei said with a sweet voice yet threatening. Care to try longer? Naruto closed his eyes again longer this time. However, his eye muscles then twitched as he was about to open them, but Mei raised a finger and said a firm no. And Naruto cancelled his action. About 2 minutes later of Naruto managing to keep his eyes closed, Mei sighed. Convinced that he finally got it, she turned around and Naruto immediately rolled on the spot on the ground. Mei noticed the sounds and immediately turned around and saw Naruto was in his meditating pose again, but he was dirty with blades of grass all over him. Mei raised a skeptical eyebrow and decided to test him, and so she turned around again. Naruto rocked back and forth on his butt and held his legs to balance himself this time, and Mei immediately turned around and caught him in the action. What are you doing? Mei asked in her sweet yet threatening voice, while Naruto looked at her innocently. Meditating, Naruto replied easily. Really? Last time I checked, that wasn't the standard meditating pose, she shot back and cracked her knuckles threateningly. Well, my mojo told me to do this, Naruto answered with a cheeky grin, and Mei rubbed her temples. Alright, fine. It seems that standard operating procedures don't apply to you so we have to do something else, Mei stated. I know that this is hard for you, considering that you are energy, but you must do this to overcome your instincts, you know. I know that but I just can't sit still. It's like I'm on constant sugar rush. Naruto explained with a pout. Mei tapped her chin, thinking for a moment when suddenly, she got an idea. Naruto had problems with large bodies of water as his body has large amounts of electricity flowing in him than regular humans have. Contact with bodies of water usually makes his body involuntarily discharge the electricity in his body quickly all over the water that it leaves him drained. This situation is similar to when a person casted a technique that requires more chakra than what their body can provide, resulting in chakra depletion that, at its worst, can cause death. Now, the thing is, it is only fatal if he made contact with open and especially flowing bodies of water. This is because the discharged energy will escape away from him and thus constantly draining him. However, if he's in closed bodies of water such as a bathtub, the discharged energy will return back to him. And then escape and return to him again. Nevertheless, the constant energy discharge is taxing to him. The things that can affect him was heavy rain that will constantly drain him of energy, medium to large cup of water that when thrown at him causes a mild shock, ironic for someone like him, a bucket of water that knocks him out for emergency use only. And obviously water techniques. Thankfully, Naruto doesn't have this problem with small amount of water on him like a drizzle, light rain, light shower or sponge baths. If not, well, let's not think about it. So, Mei devised a new type of meditation. Instead of normal meditation when you just sat and empty your mind, Naruto has to do it with cups of water on his head and hands. If he moves, the cup drops and shocks him. It was sadistic and painful, yes, but like they say, no pain, no gain. But of course Naruto developed enough fine control that he can move around without spilling the cup. It irked May to find him doing the butt rocking again with the cups of water balanced on his forehead and knees. So instead, he was placed on a wooden board on top of a large somewhat pointy rock in the middle of a small rather May-made pond near the river. So far, it worked. Thankfully. After 3 months, Naruto finally developed enough fine control again that he was able to rock the wooden platform he was on back and forth, left and right and he can do circles without falling into the pond. He then heard a very loud smack sound and turned around to see May, who had just face-palmed herself hard. Naruto grinned and May walked away while mumbling about new methods, leaving Naruto alone on the river. Naruto, not having anything to do, carefully got away from the pond when he noticed a girl came out from a bush, carrying a small white rabbit with red eyes. The girl has to be about his age, mentally, has black hair that was tied in a pigtail, pink eyes, and wore a simple yellow dress. "Hello little girl," Naruto beamed at her. She was wary for a moment before replying with a soft hello of her own. "What's your name?" Naruto asked. "Nami," Nami told her name. "Ow, like this country's name," Naruto nodded. "So what's the rabbit's name?" "Kamizilla," Nami simply said. "Ow, that's a," Naruto suddenly choked when his brain finally registered the rabbit's name, cute name. "I don't want the name to be cute," Nami pouted. "I want it to be scary." "Yeah right, the only thing that will be scary about the rabbit is if it suddenly has Sharingan," Naruto thought, noticing the somewhat eerie look the rabbit was giving him with its blood-red eyes. "I mean, cute in a scary way. I said cute so that the great and menacing Kamizilla doesn't eat me," Naruto said and pretend cowered near the rabbit. "Nope. Kamizilla is offended and demands sacrifice," Nami claimed in a somewhat creepy tone and raised Kamizilla above her head. Naruto nodded nervously. "Ah." Nami then flailed the poor rabbit around and mimicked monster mannerism, as if she was the monster and not a rabbit, and Naruto, catching on to what she wanted to do, play the helpless tiny victim. 10 minutes later, Nami was panting on the ground and her rabbit was a few feet beside her, munching on some foliage while staring at Naruto. Naruto, who didn't have to do much in the pretend play, crouched and stared at the rabbit suspiciously too. Suddenly, the monster rabbit lunged at him and Naruto, surprised by this sudden action, reacted. Zop! The rabbit exploded in a shower of blood and meaty bits over both of them, causing Nami to go slack-jawed and Naruto to release a barely audible oops. Nami then wailed while Naruto was racking his brain for an excuse as to why he just mercilessly vaporized a pet in front of its master. And then, he got an idea. Borg. The lightning monster. Naruto finally defeats Kamizilla. Naruto did his own monster mannerism and flailed around. Nami, however, proceeded to pound him continuously. "You weren't supposed to be the monster. You were supposed to be the tiny victims," Nami said while continuing her assault. "Not fair. I want to play the monster too. And you can't expect Kamizilla to win all the time. I know its name got Kami in it, but it's boring for it to win every time." Naruto shot back while weathering her beatings. "You have to kill him." Nami stopped her assault and gave Naruto a cold glare, to which he chuckled nervously for an answer. Then, he got a brilliant answer. "I only killed him once. He killed me 43 times already." Naruto shot back. "The numbers were just made up though." Nami wailed and cried even harder and ran back to the village, leaving Naruto alone with rabbit remains all over him. "Oh boy, I'm so going to get it, am I?" Naruto said to himself, and then he noticed something on the ground. One of the rabbit's eyeballs was staring at him. Naruto felt a shiver run down his spine and he prodded the eye so that it would look away. But it rolled back to its original position to stare at him. "I knew there's something wrong with you," Naruto said and ran to the village too. "You vaporized a rabbit?" May asked angrily. "What in the world made you do that?" She gave it a threatening name. "So I assumed that the rabbit was threatening too," Naruto shot back in defense. May raised a skeptical eyebrow at him. "It helps that the rabbit has long teeth and red eyes. I could have sworn that it was the Sharingan," Naruto added. "The Sharingan on a rabbit?" May crossed her arms and tapped her foot. "And how in the world the rabbit got the Sharingan in the first place?" May asked, and she has a gut feeling that she's going to regret asking the question a little bit. "I don't know. Maybe those stuck-up Ichi has decided to go wild for once and got really drunk that they fucked a rabbit," Naruto replied while scratching the back of his head. Mai and Takeshi, who was nearby, laughed hard while May was holding back her laugh. "That or maybe they're just into bestiality," Naruto added. "And that's a bad thing?" Kyuubi asked in his mind. "I didn't say that it was bad," Naruto replied. "What in the world possessed you into thinking that?" Mei asked, and again, she should have known better than to ask. Because I once met an old guy who claimed that a teenage boy with very colorful mohawk hair is his son on the basis that he once got so drunk that he fucked a parrot, Naruto easily said, and Mai and Takeshi laughed even harder and clutched their sides. Mei was clutching her sides too, but managed to suppress her laughter to a minimum. If it helps in my defense, I was too engrossed in playing my part as the rival monster, Naruto said and crossed his arms. Mei was rubbing her temples now. It kind of annoyed her that her parents indulged in Naruto's antics, and Mei was the one who has to set him straight. Naruto-kun, you just traumatized a kid. How can you be so cruel? Mei asked in her signature sweet yet threatening voice that promised pain if you don't do what she said. But of course, Naruto operated on a different logic. People, especially guys, usually got scared shitless when she acted like this because she has the means to back it up. Naruto wasn't afraid at all. It's just that he really liked it when Mei does that voice. That and Naruto was very tolerant to pain, so threats of bodily pain doesn't faze him. Naruto drooled a bit before he snapped back to reality. Hi. I will make it up to her. He saluted and immediately left. Her parents nickered behind her and Mei spun around to face them and pointed a finger to them. You guys could have helped. It wouldn't be as funny like that, Takeshi said, and Mei sighed. I swear, Naruto has rubbed on you guys, she said. And that's a bad thing. Mai smiled. Rabbit, aha. Naruto said and dove into a bush. A wriggling bush, and a few moments later, Naruto came out with a black rabbit with red eyes in hand. Naruto then eyed the rabbit for anything weird when he noticed the same red eyes, and he eyed the rabbit suspiciously. You're not Kamizilla's brother, are you? Naruto asked, and as expected received no reply. Oh well, Naruto shrugged and held the rabbit high to the air. Now let's go and meet your new master. A few moments later, Nami came to the river to bury her fallen Kamizilla and met with Naruto, who was having a staring contest with the rabbit. Naruto noticed her and turned to face her. Oh hey. Naruto beamed and waved the black rabbit in front of him. Name eyed him suspiciously, but once her eyes laid on the rabbit, she was sold. Still, Nami was at Sundara and she won't give in easily. What do you want? Nami crossed her arms. I want to make it up to you. Here, I got you a new rabbit. Naruto said and handed her the rabbit, but she refused to take it yet. Don't want to. If it comes from you, it must be weak and can't stand up to Kamizilla. Nami said. Ah, and how would you know that? Naruto asked, and Nami looked flustered to find an answer. Well, you should know, this is Kamizilla's brother, Godzilla. Naruto claimed and held the rabbit high to the air. He's brother, how would you know that? Nami asked. Well, I found him nearby the spot where Kamizilla was defeated, Naruto said, and Nami glared at him. Anyway. Godzilla is Kamizilla's older brother, the type of brother that bullies yet loves his little brother, and I'm sure he would like to avenge Kamizilla. Oh, Nami's eyes went puppy-eyed at the story, somewhat touched by it. However, she immediately steeled herself, crossed her arms and looked away. No. Damn, this girl is a hard sell. Naruto thought. Are you sure you don't want him? He is probably the most baddest rabbit in town. None can match his fluffiness power level. Naruto claimed, and Nami perked up at this. Fluffiness power level. Nami said with interest. Yes. Godzilla's power level is over 9,000. Naruto said excitedly at the last part and held the rabbit high again. Nami was doing calculations in her mind about the large number. She's only 6 and only learned numbers up to 100. But still, she was a smart girl and knew that 9,000 is a very big number. Fine. Nami said, and Naruto handed her the rabbit with a grin. But as compensation, you will let Godzilla avenge Kamizilla. Fine. Naruto said nervously. A few moments later. Arg. It's so fluffy I'm gonna die. Naruto said and turned around a few times and dropped to the forest floor with his tongue out. Yay. Nami jumped around a few times and sat on the floor, releasing Godzilla in the process. Godzilla then hopped on Naruto's chest and glared at him. Naruto said and looked at the somewhat menacing rabbit. Jump. It has been a few days after his incident with little Nami and her blasted pet rabbit. It seemed that Godzilla is Kamizilla's brother after all, as he enacted his revenge on Naruto by biting him on the nose. Needless to say, Nami was very happy at seeing her rabbit turned carnivore on him. Anyway, his control of his element has definitely improved, not much, but still an improvement. Another thing that bugged him was how hard it was for him to change into his lightning form, or as he named it, Blitz mode. It helped to have awesome names for your techniques. He didn't know how exactly turn into Blitz mode, as he can't change it a thought. He tried to command his body to change, but to no avail. It seems that a different kind of trigger is needed. The last 2 times he changed was when he got struck by lightning. Kyuubi speculated that either it required him to channel a large amount of lightning chakra to his whole body or that it really required a lightning strike. If the only way was the latter, then it would have sucked big time to keep waiting for a thunderstorm to come and hit him. Try and channel your lightning chakra all over your body, Kyuubi suggested. How exactly to do that? I can't even do tree walking yet, Naruto said. Oh yeah, I forgot about that, Kyuubi replied, and Naruto's sweat dropped. She has been living inside him for years and she forgot. Sometimes he wondered what she was doing inside him. Well, looks like we have to make people zap you then, Kyuubi said, and Naruto nodded. Still, are you sure about this? The first time you sneezed in that form, you kind of teleported quite far. Well, I have to make sure I don't sneeze then, Naruto smirked and Kyuubi grunted in reply. Naruto was very lucky the next day. It turns out that a genin team from Kumo was in Wave. They were doing a C-ranked mission of escorting a Kumo merchant. So what are you guys doing? Naruto asked the 3 Kumo genin team in front of him, and all of them was at Naruto's training spot. The genin teams were composed of a busty blonde girl, dark-skinned red-headed girl, and a dark-skinned white-haired boy who was sucking on a lollipop. The 3 stopped what they were doing and turned their attention to him. They were practicing ninjutsus before as per Killer Bee's instructions while he guards the client. While the 3 of them felt a bit bad for leaving the client alone with Killer Bee, they were glad nonetheless to get some quiet time from Killer Bee's rapping. Samui, the busty blonde girl eyed Naruto for a moment before deciding that he was just a civilian. Training, that's all, she said while rubbing the back of her neck. Ooh. Don't mind me. Just continue with your training like I'm not here. Naruto said excitedly. They were blasting lightning techniques just now and he wanted to see if he could get hit by one, accidentally of course. What? Why would we do that? The red-headed girl, Carrie pointed at him. For all we know, you could be a spy. If I admit I'm not a spy, would you think otherwise? Naruto asked and before Samui could say anything, Amoy answered. I see, Amoy rubbed his chin. You're trying to trick us, aren't you? You're trying to say that you're a spy so that we would dismiss that claim as no spy would reveal himself and then in the end, you really were a spy who managed to trick us and then backstab us and… Samui sighed. She seemed to do that a lot recently. You're over-exaggerating again, Amoy. He's just a curious kid, that's all. That's right. So can you perform that technique you did back then? It was awesome. Can I see it again? Please, please, please. Naruto pleaded with puppy eyes. No way. It's forbidden for ninjas to reveal their techniques to civilians when not in battle. Carrie stated. Oh, just this once, please. Naruto pleaded again and Samui and Amoy shook their heads. Sorry kid, no can do, Amoy said. Naruto deflated a bit but sprang back up almost immediately. Then I have to keep pestering you until you give in. DSHH, we're ninjas kid, we're trained to never give up. Carrie huffed at him and claimed proudly. An hour later. Let me kill him. Carrie said loudly while she and the rest were huddled together with their hands over their ears. You can't hurt a civilian. Amoy said loudly so that his teammates could hear him. Unless he attacked us first. And he's attacking my patience. Carrie replied. Nine, Naruto sang in front of them happily. At first, the group especially Samui found the song to be cute. However, repetition tended to be annoying and Naruto repeated the song non-stop and he doesn't even stop to breathe. They tried to wait for him to tire himself but it's been an hour already. It was ridiculous. Even Killer Bee's rap karaoke wasn't this long. They tried to make him stop but they couldn't hurt him lest they hurt their reputations with the locals. Please, make him stop. Samui begged. Kami. I never thought that someone else more annoying than Sensei could have ever existed. Carrie said. Tell me about it. I thought training with Sensei would give us immunity over annoying things. Amoy replied back. Suddenly, Naruto stopped, much to the genin's relief. Then Carrie was about to say when Naruto interrupted her. Oh? Your Sensei sounds like a fun guy. Maybe I should meet him instead, Naruto said while rubbing his chin as if in thought. The genin team felt a very horrifying feeling fell over them when the truth sunk in. What would happen if 2 very annoying people meets? Surely the world would end. Okay fine. We'll show you, once. Just once. Samui exploded and this shocked her teammates. It was very hard to make Samui mad as she's the coolest person in the group. Naruto beamed with a very large smile. But Samui. What happened if your lightning technique suddenly hit him? And then if he dies, we will be held responsible and our ninja career would be over. And then we would have to work as Johnny Amoy said. I don't care. Samui, show him. Carrie said and Samui nodded and got up. Alright, Naruto, now watch closely. I'll show this to you just once, Samui said and Naruto nodded. Give me some space, this is going to be dangerous. Naruto and the rest backed away and went behind her and Samui began flashing her hand seals towards a clearing. Lightning technique. Lightning ball. Samui chanted and held her left palm out while her right hand holds her left arm, as if bracing it. A basketball-sized ball made of lightning then appeared and shot out in front of Samui. Then it curved back towards Naruto. But the Fuamoy couldn't finish as the ball struck Naruto squarely on the chest and exploded in a small lightning burst that blinded the area with a bright flash for a moment. When the flash was gone, so was Naruto. After seeing what happened, Samui's legs went limp and she dropped to the ground lifelessly. Amoy's mouth was hanging wide open that his lollipop fell from his mouth to the ground. Carrie was hysterical and was grabbing her head and dropped to her knees. "Tommy, what the fuck happened?" Carrie asked. "I don't know. I didn't direct the lightning bolt to him at all. I just aimed it straight. Why did it curve?" Samui defended herself while staring at the sky. "Oh Kami, I told you guys what would happen. Now for once, my exaggeration was right. Oh man, oh man, oh man. I didn't believe it at first when they say that first time C-ranked missions were cursed," Amoy said. Somewhere else. The lightning strike hit the ground and a lightning entity appeared and from the looks of it, it was sitting on the ground. "What happened?" Naruto mentally asked his tenant. "It seems that you are able to attract lightning to yourself. A neat feature when fighting against enemies, but not so much when around allies," Kyuubi explained, and Naruto nodded. "And you sneezed again, didn't you?" "I can't help it, okay? I smelled something weird when that lightning ball hit me. I think it was the smell of my burned clothes," Naruto replied. Speaking of which. Naruto got up and was about to examine himself when his blitz mode was over and he was in his human form again. "What? That was too quick," Naruto said and realized that he was again naked. He then turned around to find anything to cover himself when he saw an effeminate boy looking at him with his mouth open and a horrified look on his face. Naruto tried to stall while trying to think for an excuse as to why he was naked. "You're not using the naked beach excuse again, are you?" Kyuubi asked. "It didn't work last time." "Who knows, it'll work this time," Naruto mentally replied and Kyuubi was about to speak when Naruto spoke first. "Do you believe me when I say that I was from a nude beach?" Naruto asked and the boy, mouth still wide open, nodded slowly. "Ha. He believes me," Naruto thought with a grin and Kyuubi groaned in response. "Congratulations kid, you managed to traumatize a girl, 3 genins and a boy in less than a week. I'm so proud of you," Kyuubi said with sarcasm. "Thank you. I'm proud of myself too." Naruto beamed which terrified the boy and caused Kyuubi to groan again. Isaginin Adventures. Part 1. Nami hopped happily into her house's yard and went to the rabbit's pen and placed her new rabbit into it. "Now stay here, I'm going inside to get you some food, K," Nami cheerfully said and went inside. "Amazilla. Why must you die?" Godzilla said. Of course, to a human, what Godzilla said was just a screech. "But do not worry my brother. I will avenge you. In fact, I've already began my revenge. Yes, I can already taste your killer's blood in my mouth which tastes bad by the way." Godzilla began grooming the area around his mouth to clear Naruto's blood from the fur. "Also. I will avenge you grandmother. Avenge you who were taken away from the Uchiha as their rightful pet. Soon I will return to them and serve as their glorious pet once again. Muahaha," Godzilla said and jumped around maniacally. "And do not cry for me my brother. For your death has empowered my Sharingan to the next level. Behold, the Mangekyo Sharingan." Godzilla said and closed his eyes for a moment before opening them back to reveal a Sharingan, but with 2 bars extending from the pupil horizontally, like Izuna Uchiha's Mangekyo, but 2 instead of 3 bars. Making them look like a minus sign. A minus Sharingan. Muhaha. Yes. I shall use this power against our enemies. But first how do I get out of this stupid island? Godzilla stopped jumping and scratched the back of his ear. "Badzi-chan. Food has arrived." Nami who has appeared with a tray of vegetables said. "Badzi-chan. Don't make me use my Mangekyo against you, you little oh hey, carrots." Godzilla said and deactivated his Sharingan and hopped towards Nami. "Oh what the heck. Revenge can wait," Godzi said and began munching on a carrot stick. Kurigakur. Lamachi's Zabuza was not having a good day. Actually, he rarely has any good days. Heck, he could count with his fingers about his good days. Anyway, this day was different from the rest of his not so good day. Why? Because he failed to assassinate the Yonde Mizukage, Yugura, that's why. It was bad enough that his target was a cage-level ninja, he was also a psychopath that committed genocide and the current host for the 3-tailed turtle beast. And Yugura's younger than him too. Now, most people would say that trying to kill a cage who was a psychopath and also a host was a stupid and insane idea. Well, those people were stupid. There were many ways to end a life and not just fighting directly until your target drops dead. No, even the strong can fall to the unexpected, the unknown or simply put, assassination. And although Zabuza carries a very large sword, he was quite capable of assassination, just as he was capable of fighting head-on. But it seems that Yugura was very paranoid. Well, you get that when you're a psychopath and a mass murderer. Anyway, the thing is, Zabuza managed to kill Yugura, only that it wasn't Yugura. He managed to get the bastard's head rolling to the table and to the floor, only to find that it wasn't Yugura's head. But rather some white-skinned creepy-looking freak with only an eye on one side of his face, and it had a smile, even though he just got decapitated. And then the shit hits the fan. Yugura appeared from the shadows, and Zabuza didn't waste any time and ran away from him. No way could he fight Yugura head-on, and he's not going down fighting either if it kills him. Don't be mistaken, Zabuza was not a coward, the assassination attempt was proof. But he was not stupid either. He wasn't like those heroic guys who still fight, even though it was clear that they aren't going to win. If you're dead but your enemy's not, then your death was useless. Better to run away and come back later with a vengeance than die and let someone else finish your sloppy work. Anyway, Yugura didn't bother chasing him, which was a relief. Yugura probably thought that he wasn't worth the time and sent his minions instead. Arrogant bastard. That will bite you back in the ass, Zabuza promised you that. But that was for later, as vengeance can wait. For now, he needs to get the hell out of this country. What do we do now, boss? Maizu asked Zabuza. Maizu, along with his brother, Gozu, were loyal followers of Zabuza and had been part of his coup, along with other Kiranin. Plan B, escape, Zabuza replied. What about the rest, boss? Yugura is gonna get even more paranoid and going to do some office cleaning for possible traitors, Gozu asked. Don't worry, all of them knew what they were into, regardless of the outcome. I've already ordered for the likely suspects for treason to get out of Kiri like us, while the rest to stay low and provide me with intel, Zabuza answered. But what if they got caught and they blab? Gozu asked again. Zabuza sighed at this. Even if they do, there's not much that they can do anyway, as we'll be out of here soon. Haku's life was a mess. A wreck. A disaster. Why? Well, she found out a few years ago that she has a unique power, the ability to make ice. For a girl like her of 9 years old, that was awesome, but not so to her parents. Her mother scolded her for it, and her father decided to kill her. She didn't understand why at first, but later she found out that in Kiri, having unique abilities, or bloodline as it was called, was something to be feared of and to be destroyed. Her father's fear, it seemed, was greater than his love. He didn't know at first that his wife carried a bloodline, as she never used it in front of him. But the truth came out when Haku first discovered her bloodline, and though her mother forbids her to use it again for fear of being discovered, it was too late. Her father saw it and in his fear, brought a mob to kill his wife and daughter. Her mother tried to stop him with the hope that their love was greater than his fear. But it wasn't enough. He struck her down with tears in his eyes and was about to do the same to Haku. But Haku, in a moment of great emotional distress, used her powers to kill her father and the mob. And then she understood why her powers were feared, and she didn't use it ever since. For a few days since her first kill, she wandered alone, with nowhere or no one to go to. Then, someone took her in. Ozu was a tall man in his 30s with short brown hair, green eyes and a handsome face. His clothing, however, was average, not too shabby like a beggar and not too high class like an elite. Ozu was the owner of the Floating Hope Kiri orphanage. During the Civil War, a lot of people died, and most of those people were parents, leaving their children alone to the mercy of the cruel world. Being an orphan in wartime isn't easy, more so when Kiri didn't care much about orphans. This is because feeding and protecting the orphans could take a lot of resources that could go to their ninjas. And even if you weren't a ninja, a lot of civilians couldn't afford to take care of children with growing needs when they themselves need food to last the next day. Added to the fact that most of the orphans tend to have bloodlines, and anyone who caught sheltering a bloodline orphan were bound to be punished severely, even if they didn't know that the child had any bloodline. So the adults, on the chance that the orphans that they took in would have a bloodline, figured that they shouldn't give a damn about the orphans at all. And so, the orphans were left to themselves. Majority of the orphans would die, while the survivors would grow unbalanced. It was no wonder that Kiri has one of the bloodiest ninja of all elemental nations, with extremely selfish survivor mindset. The survival of the fittest, the dog-eat-dog world, and every man for himself kind of mindset. However, Ozu established the Floating Hope Kiri orphanage and took almost every child on the street. An admirable endeavor, because orphanages often tend to get investigated for bloodline children. In Kiri, children in orphanages have a higher rate of being taken away by ninjas instead of potential parents. Ozu, however, wasn't a good person. He's not a rich guy, so there's no way he could support a large number of children in a warring village. So he put the children to work, and those works varies from begging, stealing, prostitution and human trafficking. The children didn't have any choice, it was either him or starve to death. Haku currently was assigned the job of begging. It was the safest work in the orphanage so far, better than stealing. If you caught stealing from a ninja, don't expect any mercy, and Ozu will disown you. Not like there's any difference from begging anyway. The people that they begged from didn't have much anyway and wasn't willing to part with it and didn't want to give what they have. Beggars tend to be persistent and that tend to get you hit. And Haku just now was roughly shoved to the ground after persistently begging from a woman. She didn't get up from the ground as she was too tired from lack of food. Ozu didn't give them much to eat, just scraps enough to live for the next day, but not enough for their growing needs. She bit her lip while mentally cursing her fate because of her ability. If only I didn't have this bloodline. Mother and father would have lived and we would be happy, Haku thought bitterly. She wanted to cry, but her tears had already dried. Sometimes she wondered why the heck she is even alive. She's seen it before, some of the orphans just stop doing anything, even to eat or drink. They just sleep and never wake up. Maybe she should do the same. That way, maybe she could see her mother again. Haku then closed her eyes slowly, wanting to rest and woke up, hopefully to a better place. Suddenly,